A couple of days ago, there was a discussion that came about in my dog trainer marketing group on Facebook. It's technically called the Dog Trainer Marketing Group, real creative. And it was kind of an interesting topic. People were discussing whether or not selling dog training was actually a need or a want. And I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, dive a little bit deeper into that subject because it's kind of fascinating to me. I'll explain why. Stick with me. Is dog training a need or a want? I'd argue about businesses that are needs versus wants for decades with my father, rest in peace. He was a second generation entrepreneur, making me a third generation entrepreneur. And he really liked businesses that were quote unquote needs. I'm going to say quote unquote needs because we're not getting into like basic needs like air or food or shelter, those types of things, although certain businesses can be obviously derivatives of those. But we're talking about more like drawing the comparison between the types of businesses that he liked, hardware stores, sign and rubber stamp companies, those types of businesses he actually owned. I really like the types of businesses that are wants, and I'm going to explain in just a minute why and why that affects you as a dog training business owner. Over the course of my life, I've owned a discussion forum software business. I owned a couple of different real estate investing review websites. I owned a dating website. I owned three different dog training businesses, as well as a dog training subscription website, dogproms.com, and a publishing company that publishes different books and different niches or industries on Amazon.com. And currently, for the last several years, we've owned a Google Ads agency that runs ads for dog training business owners, as well as other pet industry businesses, just probably like your business. And the way I look at it is that, and again, many intelligent people disagree with me, but in my opinion, in my mind, people will pay for what they want, regardless of what they need. Nobody needs a brand new car. Nobody needs to be eating fast food. People need to be taking their vitamins and going to the gym, but instead they choose to sit on their ass and spend money on all kinds of ridiculous things like car stereos and rims for their cars. Why? Because they want it. They don't need it, but they want it. And frequently, I'd see this even in our own dog training businesses. People would show up, drop $1,000 on a dog training program while their kids had holes in their sweaters, needed new shoes. It's like, why? You have needs. You should be taking care of your family, yet you're spending money on a dog training program. Okay, maybe the dog's aggressive. Maybe if you want to keep the dog, you're going to have to work with a dog trainer and get this problem fixed. But you don't need to keep the dog. I mean, let's be honest. You can take the dog to the animal shelter and be done with it. That's the end of it. You don't need it. You need a roof over your head. You need clean water. You don't need designer clothes. You want designer clothes. You can get by with basic clothes. You don't need expensive clothes, right? But people do not think that way. They spend their money. Sometimes they spend their money on needs, but more frequently, it's much easier to sell somebody uh, something that they want rather than something that they need. And the really funny thing about the way the human mind is wired is that we convince ourselves frequently that things that we want are actually needs. Now, I figure I probably belabored that point a little bit at this point. So, how do we relate that to selling dog training? I think for the professional dog training business owner, as well as your staff, y'all need to keep clear in your own mind that you're selling a want, even though it may be couched or cloaked as a need. So, how do you do that? The way to do it is you need to, number one, recognize that it is a want, not a need. And because it's a want, these people, these desperate dog owners, they have emotional hot buttons that must be pushed. How do you push those emotional hot buttons? Here's the secret: you listen, and you listen closely, because as you dig deeper, which requires establishing rapport, you can't just launch into your sales pitch wholehearted. They need to feel like you're the type of person who is going to listen to them, is going to relate to them or with them, that you're the kind of person that really understands what their needs and wants actually are, because they're going to tell you, and it's your job to listen. And as they dig deeper into their pain points, they're going to reveal to you their emotional hot buttons. And at that point, all you need to do is just push those emotional hot buttons and ramp up those pain points. But remember, these are not needs, so we can't approach it like a need. If you go down that line of reasoning where you're saying things like, this dog is going to kill somebody and you need to get it trained, in the back of the client's mind, the prospective client, the client is thinking, well, not really. I mean, I could take the dog to the pound. I can get rid of the dog and sell him to somebody else. That's not a need. So you're going to have to identify the emotional hot buttons, the hot buttons that brought them there in the first place, push and amplify those emotional hot buttons, because they want to work with you. They've demonstrated that they want to work with you because they put the dog in the car and drove down to your place and sat through your whole spiel. So at that point, it's really just an issue of closing the deal once you've identified those emotional hot buttons, those pain points and emotional hot buttons. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm kind of rambling here. But listen, if you have questions, post them in the comment section below in the Dog Trainer Marketing Group. Or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, feel free to comment below the video at YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer any questions or lingering discussion points. We can actually extend this discussion even further if you'd like. Hey, if you want to grow your dog training business, check out dogtrainertoolbox.com. We've got a number of services and programs and even free stuff like some interviews with really cool people. Dogtrainertoolbox.com. Check it out. It's going to get you from where you are right now to where you really want to be. And it's going to get those desperate dog owners to pick up the phone and call you each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, each and every year. Hey, I'm Adam Katz for dogtrainertoolbox.com. Talk to you soon, guys.